Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the much-anticipated second game of a best-of-3 series between EG Stephano, the blue Zerg spawning at the bottom left of Cloud Kingdom, up against Liquid TaeJa, the red Terran at the top right. If you guys did not catch game number 1, usually I say go watch it. This time I say if you don't watch it, you are missing potentially the most epic cast you'll find on my channel. The game was phenomenal. TaeJa able to come out on top. I found Stephano premature GG'd even. He could have possibly taken that game. And I don't mean premature GG in the BM sense. Some people take it that way. I believe Maximus Black uses it in that regard. But I mean it as in, he could have actually had a shot. He had a handful of infestors left and a little ragtag rebel force. But TaeJa was mined out. That map, Ohana, was literally devoid of minerals. So, entering game number 2, Stephano has to take this one. This is not a tournament life on the line kind of game. It is from the Dreamhack Valencia ISO Open, which was held this past weekend, the round of 32 stage of said LAN. So, these two players were 2-0, I believe, entering this game, so the winner gets optimal seeding heading into the round of 16, while the loser still advances, but are going to play likely a tougher opponent. So that is definitely something to consider. Stephano now moving down to take his hatch. We saw TaeJa go for something of a... I don't even remember exactly. There was everything in that game. Legitimately, I saw everything. Stephano went for some crackling infestor, ultra broodlord composition. He had units everywhere on the map. TaeJa was getting... I believe he went for Biomech, Marine Tank, Medevac, if I'm not mistaken. He did have some Thors mixed in at one point and added a higher Marauder count as his opponent started to tech the Ultralisks. So that is the bulk of what happened tech-wise in that past game. It looks as though Stephano is opening up with this Hatch then pool build, which has been the standard in TvZ for as long as anyone can remember. TaeJa went for a fast 3 CCs. He was able to bunker rush Stephano's third base and force him to build it at the 4th location, and then consistently put on this drop aggression at his opponent's 5th and 6th hatcheries, I believe, just continuously kept Stephano from actually getting mining going at that point. So at the moment, TaeJa seems to be doing the exact same thing he was doing in the past game, getting the CC right away, and will he build another is my question. Or will he just stick on 2 bases? Because he didn't use it right away. He did not lift it off, move it straight to his 3rd location on Ohana, and start mining. He just kind of used it as a macro CCs for a little bit just to make some SCVs. And then, once he had finished up his opening aggression, he decided to actually get it mining. He does now have 2 more racks on the way. No signs of gas in either of his bases. I did see him add on, I believe, 2 refineries simultaneously in the previous game to compensate for his lack of gas immediately. Meanwhile, over in Stephano's base, we do have nothing too eventful. He's just got 1 queen out with another on the way. 2 out at this point. I just did not take account of the one at the natural. He had 4 in the past game and somewhat failed to reproduce them. He was keeping some on creep spreading and others just injecting. At one point, though, I found at his later hatcheries, he actually did not have an injecting queen. He would have to bring some over to do that. He had to carry over some queens of his that were kind of straggling around in the middle of the map and use them to inject. He's now going to have 1 beginning the creep spread right away. Stephano had a very nice map presence in that past game. TaeJa bringing out a contingent of 4 Marines across the map. He does have a bunker producing somewhere right at his natural, just to be sure he does not fall victim to any devastating Ling run-bys. Metabolic boost shortly about to finish for Stephano, so he could pull one of those off if he so desired. Stephano nervously pulling back this queen here onto the edges of his creep. His Roach Warren close to done. A little bit past halfway, but it takes minimal time to actually complete. There are 8 Lings and 5 drones now producing for our blue Zerg player, the new recruit on EG. He will probably try to establish this 3rd, but if TaeJa is able to deny it again, that could give him a huge advantage. No 3rd base again here from our Korean monster of a Terran. He does have 2 refineries in the main, nothing at the natural. And let us check our income tab really quick. 40 to 30 harvesters. Stephano does have a definitive edge there, but he's still off of 2 bases, trying to get optimal saturation. They're making 4 drones. Here's some links surrounding a few Marines, able to nail them all and claim their lives as trophies of their own. At the moment now, TaeJa going to load up just 1 Marauder in this bunker. There are 4 wings running by here. Like I said, no chance for a link run by. Actually, 3 of them still get into the main, largely unharmed. 1 of them low on health. They're just causing some disruptions here, links. So very cheap for a Zerg player. The factory going to be delayed a little bit longer, and Stephano gets ideal scouting. He saw everything. There are no little nooks and crannies he missed. No hidden dirty secrets from TaeJa. He knows his opponent is staying off of 2 bases, not even beginning to produce the 3rd, so he goes ahead on his own, drops the Baneling Nest, gets his 1-1 upgrades. I think personally TaeJa is going to try to hit a really strong bio timing here. He's got a rapidly growing army supply count. He's got a good number of barracks underneath him. He does have this factory for potential transition, and is looking to just put on some heat on Stephano's 3rd base, which he was able to successfully do in the last game. The time window for that bunker rush is a little bit too... has passed by this point. TaeJa nervously microing outside of the 3rd ramp here on Cloud Kingdom. Very, I like to say, strong map for Zerg from what I have seen. Terran seems to have some degree of trouble dealing with these expansions down here as a result of creep spread and broodlord positioning. Often TvZs on Cloud Kingdom tend to reach the late game. Some of the more epic games I've seen and or casted have taken place there in terms of late game. Ohana was actually I believe that was the first time that I've seen a really, really long macro game drawn out, all those bases mined out. You don't see that very often. A number of creep tumors taken out here from TaeJa at the expense of Stephano. He's getting some of his bio forces surrounded. Now the Roach is getting a very good engage, and a lot of Marines and Marauders just died there from Liquid. TaeJa not the best positioning at all for him. He does now begin to produce a CC. Likely really wants to macro up to 3 bases to catch up with his opponent. Stephano does have his layer tech just now finishing. He will probably, I would say, drop down the Spire and head for mutas. Maybe try to change things up. That might catch his opponent off guard. No, he's just going to go straight for Infestation Pit with Glial Reconstitution and Centrifugal Hooks. Zerg really tend to speed up after the lair point. But it looks like Stephano's actually just going to morph some Banelings in. That's a total of 10. Can he bust down TaeJa, who's just now finishing a supply depot? He's got double engineering bays with 1-1 producing, but will those shortly go down to the Baneling bust of Stephano? Let us see. He's actually running in here, able to get them all, and that will critically damage the wall of TaeJa. He still keeps his forces alive here, but if Stephano gets a good reinforcement wave, he could totally overwhelm his opponent. He does now have his 4th hatchery on the way. Just like I said before, getting some tech. Now his pathogen glands. I've been mixing that up with adrenal glands recently because I've actually seen adrenal glands researched. Meanwhile, Infernal Pre-Igniter for TaeJa's Hellions. He's only actually producing 1, and I think he has 1 in the field. He does, with a reactor now somewhere in his main. I'm not going to go back and check. I just want to make sure we cover this battle at hand. His 1-1 forced to reproduce. Critical delay there from Stephano. Very well done. He has a Spore Crawler producing at his main base. I guess just a predictive Spore Crawler, as TaeJa went uncloaked Banshees in the past game and was able to actually put on a lot of pressure with them. Now Stephano carefully microing here. Can he capture these Marines? Very nice liftoff from TaeJa. Just critical micro. If you're one of those Marines, you're probably quivering, desperately hoping to be picked up in time. Now there is going to be another wing run by here by the 3rd location of TaeJa, and if they are able to deny or even just delay that 3rd base, that could be huge for Stephano economically. He's keeping the 1 base edge up on his opponent while he's able to get Hive on the back of this. TaeJa's shortly going to see this disruption, but that could be something of a ruse from Stephano, drawing his opponent out, allowing his main force to just head in here and bust down TaeJa's front door once more. It seems as though he is going to go around the side, though, with some of these wings. They do have their 1-1 upgrades with 2-2 on the way and 4 infestors. Can Stephano pull this one out? Will he be able to just finish off his opponent here? TaeJa, if he's able to get to 3 bases, that almost guarantees a much longer game. If he's actually able to saturate it and hold it off against any potential pressure. But if he loses it, there's this 2-minute window, 2 to 3 minute window where Stephano can hit hard with Infestors before his opponent gets a siege tech and these 3 critical upgrades up, wherein he can destroy TaeJa. If he's able to hit that window, just all of these Marines, not too high a medevac count, and well-placed Baneling detonations, it could be Stephano's game. There's going to be a full medevac with a maximum capacity of 8 Marines moving over from TaeJa. Let's see how that fares. The Infestors are now out on the field. Stephano does have a fairly intimidating force at 176 supply. If he can get good fungals off, trap all these Marines, and hit them hard with Banelings, that could be the game. He's now getting his adrenal glands. Yes, adrenal glands, not pathogen. I am getting it right. And his 3 Carapace, his 2 melee about to finish. He likely wants to wait for that. He's now going to head in here. Where are his Infestors? Stephano needs his Infestors for this engage. The siege up very late, however, from TaeJa. Stephano just overrunning the position. He's got a good number of roaches with 2 Carapace and speed. Again, the lift off there from TaeJa, but does he have enough army at home to actually be able to hold this off? Only 1 tank. His army supply about 18 underneath his opponent. His total supply about 50. He's going to drop off some of his Marines here. This tank unsieged, though. He definitely wants to keep it sieged up just predictively. There is going to be the Zerg swarm massing up over here. Let's see what they can do moving into the third. Now the tank siege up very late. The Roach is just going to move in and snipe this one tank. The other one is not even going to be able to get sieged. The Infestors now moving in. They are ready for fungals, and TaeJa calls the GG. Does not even give Stephano that chance. Very well played from our Zerg player. Just continue. Essentially, like I said, that timing window, he hit it perfectly. I'll catch you guys in game number 3. Goodbye.